All right, guys, welcome back for another video. I just want to do a quick update to a trading idea on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin that I've been looking at. Right now, I'm looking at the CME chart on the weekly. So the CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, closes on Friday afternoon. And of course, the spot exchange is closed on Sunday. So a little bit of a differential there. So sometimes it can be a leading indicator, right? You get your Friday close, and then leading into Sunday. Ultimately, what you'd want to see is whatever distinction you're looking at on the CME close is a leading indicator for it to be confirmed going forward on the Sunday close. And right here, what I'm looking at is the RSI exponential. So anytime the RSI gets oversold, that's not necessarily a buy, right? It can go much further. Can't go lower, bro, is a little bit of a meme. But what you want to see is when price gets into the oversold region in RSI and then crosses back above the weekly RSI EMA, then that's showing you that the order flow is shifting around and momentum is probably going to change. You can see that right here as well. So price gets oversold, comes down here, crosses up above the EMA. That's the beginning of a little bit of a run up to a new all-time high right there. Even here where it didn't really work out, you see a cross up and then you get 2 more weeks of upward movement before the ultimate sell-off. So you could have made profit there. So let's see here as well during 2020. So you get, price gets oversold, then price crosses up back above the EMA right here. There's your signal that, momentum shifting to the upside. Same deal right here. Price gets oversold, pops back up above the EMA right here, and then you get a multi-week, 5 weeks of up movement before an ultimate crash. Again, it's not marking macro bottoms necessarily. Sometimes it does, but it usually is just noting the beginning of a run. So here you had a beginning of not necessarily a several week run, but a multi-month run, right? And actually a macro bottom right there. So a lot of times it does catch a macro bottom, but not always. Sometimes it gives you a run like right here, for several weeks. That distinction also works within when RSI is not necessarily oversold, but in the median zone, but to a lesser degree, right? There's less edge there. Sometimes it can oscillate around. So there's a little bit more noise when you're talking around the median. And I have noticed it doesn't work so much on the opposite bound, right? So you get a cross down here, and then you get a distribution pattern. Really what happens is the tops in Bitcoin take a little bit longer to put in than the bottoms. So what you'll see is, it crossed below the EMA and then, then put in a distribution pattern, go up and then cross down. So you get kind of whipped around a little bit with that strategy. What you want to do is you want to see the divergence in the RSI put in and then the cross down before you ultimately get in a trade. Bitcoin generally bottoms much faster than it tops out. So, you're generally not going to see divergence on the weekly RSI. I actually don't think it's ever been seen. Yeah, at least not on CME chart. So right now the CME weekly close closed above the EMA. So that's in line now. And then you get stochastics kind of getting pulled up with it. When you see stochastics crossing up above the critical zone right there, that'll be indication, more secondary confirmation. But what I really want to look at for secondary confirmation is the spot close. Also on just a pure price action level, price basic, closed above this high right here on the weekly, just barely, but good enough. Probably on heavy volume as well. Well, decent volume, nothing crazy. And you can see price, closed above, then traded down, end up closing above. But really, it's that distinction right there that we're looking at. So if we go over to the weekly chart on spot, this is Bitfinex. You can see that, spot is making a decision right now, and we're looking for this trade idea to be valid. We're looking for spot to mirror the same type of closing above the EMA. So we can mark that off right there. So the EMA is currently coming in at 32.3. So let's go right here, mark it off at 32.3. Actually right here, 32.3. Let's see. No, not right there. 32.3. There we go. This is showing you the RSI level or the price level when RSI would cross above. So essentially what it's showing you is that spot needs to close above 22,154 on Bitfinex to confirm the distinction that we're seeing on CME. So again, I'm looking for that secondary confirmation this weekend to ultimately confirm that trade idea, and then I'd be allocating risk in that direction. One distinction to also point out with CME opens and closes and weekend price action, and a very tradable edge is that anytime CME closes on a Friday and you get weekend price action that's contrary to that direction, most of the time, a lot of really often price will come back, test the CME open before ultimately continuing or reversing in a certain direction. So that's another distinction to keep in mind when you are trading those weekend price action in relation to CME. Again, not financial advice. It's just a tradable weekly idea, setting up for a little bit of a position trade. Again, if you guys like this content, just make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next upload.